So we've got Eileen from Wet Whitstable, and we've got Jennifer. So glad to join you all from Salt Lake City in Utah. Deb, hello from a wet Abergavenny. Robin, greetings from North Arizona, USA. And Lizzie, hello everyone from a very soggy Old Tupton. Helen from a humid Suffolk. Janice from a rainy Hove. Looking forward to this. So it looks like the English weather is living up to its reputation today. And Joanne, hi, I'm joining from my caravan in the Peak District. It's raining heavily, but it's nice and warm too. Lovely caravan in the Peak District. And Lynn from sunny Herefordshire. It's interesting because I live in Herefordshire and it is not sunny here. And a Zoom user from wet North London. Miriam, hello from soggy North London. Whenever I'm too busy to stop and do a meditation, that's when I know I need it. Good to be here. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That the very times we need it is often when we don't do it. So wonderful that you're here. And Hanneke, hello from Nijmegen in the Netherlands after a hot day, rain and plunder. And greetings from Janet from Eugene, Oregon, USA. And Mick, hi from a first timer in Croydon. So special welcome to you, Mick. Wonderful to have you here. And Lorraine, greetings from Oregon, where I'm visiting my sister and where it is even hotter than at home in Southern California this week. Yes, the oppressive heat in West Coast America is on the news here, Lorraine. So I hope it's bearable for you. And Helen, hi from London. I'm very tired today and hoping this will help me wind down. Linda, hello from wet and not very warm Oxfordshire. Valerie, good evening from Brussels. So much rain here, so much water in our apartment. I thought the windows had been left open, but they were closed. Gosh, that sounds a bit dramatic. That's all right, Valerie. And then Suzanne, hello from hot Cologne in Germany. And then Lauren saying Eugene and Cottage Grove are just a few miles apart. So it looks like we've got two people from Oregon here tonight, just a few miles apart from one another. And Julie, fairly damp Yorkshire Dales, and I'm tired and cold. Francis from a wet New Forest. Okay, good. So that's wonderful to hear from you all. And here we all are from many, many different places. We've got Kerry from outside New York City as well. Oh, and Ezzy coming out of a long COVID crash in North London. So sorry to hear that, Ezzy, and wonderful that you've made it. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is a simple practice of coming into the body. If you heard that, that was just my umbrella falling over outside. We'll come into the body. We'll come inside breathing, resting inside breathing inside the body as a way to experience flow, as a way to experience directly the fluid and changing nature of everything. So we'll start off with the body and then we'll move into just resting inside, allowing experience to flow through the moments in the knowledge that this is the nature of things, that our thoughts are continually changing, our perceptions are continually changing, our sensations are continually changing, and the world likewise, other people likewise. And very often we've got difficulty or challenge, pain or stress, whatever it might be. We rigidify with our perception. We kind of crunch around it, turn it into a thing, and then react to it. It's very, very interesting what we do. We sort of solidify things and then we react to them. And then it makes the whole thing worse and worse. But if we can learn to rest back into flow, into something more open, then we can release around that sort of rigidification process and things become a little easier. Okay. So for those of you who are here for the first time, I'll lead it and you just need to follow along as best you can. When you wander off, which you almost certainly will, in the noticing that you've wandered, you think, hurrah, I'm mindful. I know I've wandered. And then you have the choice just to simply come back to the practice. Pick up where you left off, follow along with the guidance. Good. Okay, so we can do it with our eyes closed if that's comfortable for you, or you could lower your gaze. It's completely up to you. But we're wanting to settle, reduce input and just drop inside, drop into the moment, drop into presence. So to begin with, let's feel the body resting into the chair and the feet resting into the floor if we're sitting, and if we're lying down, feeling the body resting into the bed or the floor. And let's see if we can allow the support beneath us to take our weight as fully as we can. So we can let go of gripping, of holding on, of tensing, and allow ourselves to be held and supported. Quality of yielding and release and rest. And to help this, if we would like to, we could take some deeper in-breaths. And then with each out-breath, allowing the out-breath to flow all the way out and releasing, yielding, settling a little bit more with each out-breath. And then when we're ready, letting go of any effort around breathing and allowing the breathing to find its own natural rhythm. An opening and receiving phase on the in-breath, and then a releasing and letting go phase on the out-breath. We could imagine that there's a quality of freshness, energy, brightness pouring into the body on the in-breath. And then there's a letting go of tension and holding on with each out-breath, resting back into gravity with each out-breath. Now we're going to move into inhabiting the body as fully as we can. Very often we're in our heads, as it were, very caught up with thinking, and then the body is just this thing that we kind of cart through life. It shouts at us, calling for our attention. But if we can rest inside the body, there can be a greater sense of integration, of harmony. And then we can let go of these habits of contraction and tension and resistance. So let's imagine that our awareness is pouring out of the head, pouring down inside the body, all the way down to the feet. And it's kind of pooling in the feet as a felt experience. So we're not thinking about the feet in the abstract or looking at the feet in our mind's eye as if from the outside. But we're resting right inside, and the way the feet will be becoming known to us is through sensation. So there might be a quality of contact with the floor, contact with our socks, tingling, buzzing, unpleasant sensations, pleasant sensations. Or maybe there's numbness or dullness. Let's see if we can allow our awareness to rest inside the feet. Coming to the ankles now. Perhaps imagining that awareness is like water and that's flowing up and sort of swirling around inside the ankles. And we receive the sensations into awareness, or the buzzing or the tingling, whatever it is. And noticing the way experience is continually changing. Just allow our awareness to receive this flow of experience without pushing away the unpleasant or grabbing hold of the pleasant. Just letting it flow. And coming up to the lower legs. Shins at the front, calf muscles at the back. Inside the surface. Circumference of the lower legs. Resting right inside. And now awareness flows up to pour inside the knees. Feeling the shape of the knees, the angle, the inside, the surface. Sensations, buzzing, tingling, dullness, whatever it might be. And letting this experience flow through the moments without getting tangled up. We receive, we let go, we receive, we let go with a kindly attitude. And the thighs. The front, the back. Excuse me. The inside, the surface. Contact with the clothes. Buzzing, tingling. Pain, pleasure, whatever it is. Receiving it fully and then letting it go. And the buttocks. The buttocks resting on the chair, resting on the bed, resting on the floor, depending on our posture. Let's see if we can let them rest into the support. Letting the buttocks be soft, yielding. As we rest and soften in this area, we may notice the breath dropping a little bit deeper in the body. Don't worry if it isn't, but there may be sense of the belly softening a little bit more. Let's now allow our awareness to pour into the whole belly. The soft front of the body between the pelvis at the bottom, the base of the ribs at the top, the diaphragm at the top. There's the inside, there's the surface, and there's the rhythm of breathing. Very gentle, expanding on the in-breath, subsiding on the out-breath. No need to force or strain. If it gets a bit effortful at any point, you could take your awareness back inside the buttocks for a few moments and check that we're still resting and yielding. And coming back to breathing if and when you're ready in the belly. Now coming up to the chest area. The gentle rhythm of breathing in the lungs. Filling and emptying and filling and emptying. Your ribs expanding a little bit, subsiding a little bit, effortless. Breastbone rising and falling a little bit. The natural flow of the breath. Now let's allow our awareness to pour down into the back of the body and to rest in the lower back. Got the soft buttocks, and then we've got the shape and the curve of the lower back. Maybe we can even feel an echo of breathing in the lower back. Broadening and subsiding, broadening and subsiding a little bit. Maybe the shape is changing a little bit. If you can't feel it at all, don't worry, but being aware of the possibility. And allowing our awareness to flow up inside the back to inhabit the middle back and the upper back. Got the spine running down the middle. We've got the breath, the muscles. Then we've got the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs, the shoulder blades. Maybe even feeling a gentle opening on the in-breath, subsiding on the out-breath in the upper back. allowing the ribs and the lungs to have their natural expression inside the upper back with each breath cycle. And the whole torso all together. And we allow there to be a very gentle opening in all directions on the in-breath and subsiding on the out-breath. Very gentle 360-degree breathing. Always checking that the buttocks are soft. We're resting inside the flow of experience. Receiving and letting go and receiving and letting go again and again. Now coming to the shoulders at either side of the torso. Checking that the hands are supported so the shoulders can release into gravity. We're sitting upright, maybe a very, very subtle sense of the shoulders falling away from the midline of the body, pulling down and back a little bit. Lying down, allowing the shoulders to drop down towards the bed or the floor. Maybe there's an echo of breathing in the shoulders, a very gentle opening on the in-breath, subsiding on the out-breath. There's an echo of the breathing in the torso. And then allowing awareness to pour down inside the arms like water pouring through the upper arms and the elbows and the lower arms and the wrists and the hands, the fingers and the thumbs, full of awareness. Feeling the contact with the surface that they're resting upon in the hands. Tingling, buzzing, temperature, heat, cold. And can we let the fingers rest, just slightly curled, not reaching for the future or grabbing hold of the past, but resting in each present moment as we receive experience and let it go. Allowing awareness to flow back up through the arms and the shoulders, and to inhabit the neck and the head and the face. For upright, checking the angle of the head, that it's poised on top of the neck. Chin tucked in just a tiny bit. If we're lying down, letting the head be heavy on the pillow or the cushion. So again, we're looking for this quality of freedom from gripping, holding on. Letting the mouth be soft, the tongue soft, the jaw soft. Face soft, eyes soft. And imagining the brain soft inside the head, resting. And broadening to be aware of the whole body. Resting inside the whole body as this flow of experience, flow of sensations, flow of breathing, flow of thoughts, flow of emotions. Open to everything and then letting go of everything. So we're training and being less tangled up with experience. Fully alive, without clinging, without resistance. What's that like? And having a felt quality of tenderness and care towards everything. In just a moment, we'll be bringing this practice to a close, but perhaps forming an intention to take this quality of awareness with us as we flow back into whatever's coming next. Vividly present, vividly alive, but softening our tendencies to grip and to resist, which is the cause of so much of our distress and difficulty. We can learn to rest deeply in the flow of life. When we're ready, we can bring a little bit of movement into the body, maybe the fingers and the toes, first of all, whatever feels appropriate or comfortable. And as we begin to move, notice any habit of immediately gripping, contracting, seeing if we can stay open and soft, fluid as we transition into movement, and then coming into bigger movements, opening the eyes. Just shaking a bit if you want to. I feel like shaking a little bit. Good. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. What a lovely thing to do to practice with you all. So, for those of you who are new, I always stay on for a little bit, and people write in the chat box what they experience, and I always read it out because we sometimes have people here for whom it's difficult to read the chat box. And but if you want to slip away quietly, of course, that's absolutely fine, and we'll see you next week. And just to tell you about a retreat that's coming up in September, and we're experimenting with a new way of giving you the information. I'll say a bit more about that in a moment. But the retreat is balancing the nervous system, and it's a retreat that I've done several years now with my really good friend, Padma. We've known each other about 30 years, and she's a really wonderful yoga teacher, very good somatic movement teacher. Most importantly, she's loads of fun. She's highly adaptive. So for those of us who have difficulty moving, she's extremely kind and helpful about, well, how can we adapt as appropriate for our body? But she's very passionate. She's the least inhibited person I've ever met, which is very good on a retreat like this, because it's a retreat where we're doing meditation, there'll be lectures, there'll be mindful movement. So having someone in the room who's completely uninhibited, I think is very permission giving to the rest of us. She's really, really, really wonderful. So we're doing it in September, and it's residential as well as online. Still got a few places on the residential. We did it last year the same way, residential and online. It was really fab. We had such a good time. But for many of us in the modern world, our nervous systems are quite dysregulated. We've got too much stimulation. We're too switched on all the time. We get agitated. We get tired, which is tired and wired at the same time, which I'm sure many of us will know is quite unpleasant to be tired. You're knackered, but you can't rest. So to learn how to regulate your nervous system through simple practices, movement practices, breathing practices, and so on, it's really, really good. So we'd love you to come and join us. So Mark has put the link, but the other thing we thought we'd do this time is if you would like information emailed to you, just put yes in the chat box. If you just put yes, then the wonderful Shannon will send you information tomorrow. Oh, look, it's working. People are putting yes. How excellent is that? Good. We're always trying new things at Breathworks. So this was Shannon's latest idea. So you'll be sent personalized information tomorrow. Oh, look, lots of yeses. How exciting. Good. Okay, so let me read out some of these wonderful comments in the chat box. So Lorene, thank you, Vidyamala and Mark, for this peaceful, calming, healing session. Various other thanks. And Lorian, thanks so much for this relaxing time, Vidyamala, and thanks for the facilitation, Mark. Yes, always thanks to Mark. And I often forget to thank Mark, but Mark just comes week after week after week, invisibly there in the background, doing all the tech, and he does it as a volunteer. So it's really, really wonderful what Mark does. Thank you, Mark. And Valerie, thank you so much, Vidyamala and Mark. This was very soothing indeed. Janice, thanks so much. A beautiful session. And Lizzie, that was lovely. Jennifer, thank you for this practice. Notice my thoughts as flow, the coming and going as part of this life I live. That's beautiful. Notice my thoughts as flow, the coming and going as part of this life I live. And more thanks. Sarah, thank you, Breathworks. Lovely session and very well needed today. Caught some moments of mindfulness magic. Very, very good alliteration. Moments of mindfulness magic. Because it does feel like magic, doesn't it? When you suddenly are there. It's like, oh, yes, I'm awake. It's wonderful. And Jenny, I cramped and tense so much trying to focus on your guidance and the different body parts that I ended up just resting on the warmth of your voice as a sound and sensation. It helped me to come into presence bit by bit, become slightly more grounded. That's very interesting. So it sounds like trying to follow the guidance, you got a bit tight around that, which can happen. You noticed that, and then you just ended up sort of resting in the voice as sound and sensation. That's very, very good. And then it helped you come into presence. And you had your mindful moment where you noticed, I'm getting a bit tense here. And then you made another wise choice as to how you would relate to the guidance. So yeah, that's really thoughtful, Jenny. Victoria, thank you, Vidyamala, for the soothing meditation. Somehow I hadn't realized how much my body is my friend. Lately, I've been very afflicted in mind, and I was greatly relieved to know that my body is willing to support me. That's very beautifully put as well, Victoria. I'm sorry that you've been afflicted in your mind, but isn't that wonderful that the body's just sort of there as our support, something we can rest in. And then, of course, the body can rest into gravity. Lots of yeses. That's good. And then Heather, thanks. I really needed that. I have toenails that want to grow inwards, and my pain focuses on high alert. It's making my chronic pain take a back seat for a while. Yeah, wonderful that you came, Heather, and just rested in your body. Alison, I'm in the chaos and uncertainty of a house move. Letting go of gripping is the only sane way, but really hard. Yeah, that's well put, Alison. I mean, we all know, don't we, that moving house is one of the most stressful things you can do. And when we're stressed, that's when we grip. We start fighting with experience. But yeah, letting go of gripping is the only sane way, but really hard. It is hard, but we do these practices as training, because if it was all just completely natural to us, we wouldn't need to meditate at all. But we need to meditate to train ourselves away from more sort of tight, struggling ways of being into more soft and open ways of being. And it is the only sane way. So good luck with your house move, Alison. And Karen, thank you. I have definitely been tired today. Found that lovely but challenging. I find your voice so soothing. And then Magdalena, visualizing body as a tube through which everything moves so smoothly and freely. That's nice. A tube. Maybe it's a tube with quite sort of soft, fuzzy edges, and everything's moving smoothly and freely. Dorian, much gratitude to everyone for connecting and sharing this time together. Loving kindness to all. That's another really important point, Dorian. Thank you for saying it, that these practices are so much more powerful because we're together. As we all know, it's quite hard meditating on your own. But coming together in community like this on a Tuesday evening, there were 88 of us or something tonight. It's just wonderful, isn't it? So supportive. So thank you all for coming. And Helen, thank you. I especially like anchoring in the lower body. It feels like a powerful focus. And Anita, Steph and I don't always check in nor say thank you, but we are both always, always grateful for the space and time, a place that you and Breathworks so freely give. It means a great deal to us. Enough said. That's lovely, Anita and Steph. Yeah, we give freely, but we also receive a lot by practicing with you all. It's giving, and there's that flow of generosity, isn't it? Which is wonderful. And Miriam, beautiful practice. Thank you. I know will approach my chores with less effort in a mindful way and no doubt achieve more. So glad I gave myself the time to be here. Yeah, that's so interesting, isn't it? That, we think that pushing and shoving at experience means that we're going to be more efficient, but of course we're not. If we can live in this kind of fluid, open, patient, mindful way, we will also be much, much more productive. That's the great irony, that we sort of think we have to fight with time to make time, which doesn't really work out very well. And then message from Kalpana on YouTube. Thank you, Vidyamala, for a beautiful meditation. Wishing everyone lots of love and goodwill. And Claire, I really appreciate this calming, positive, and soothing meditation. I'm so grateful for these regular meditations and this community. Thank you to you and Mark. And Kelly, thank you and hello everyone. I watched on YouTube. It felt wonderful. Even my new nervous little dog settled down. I felt like I wasn't alone, as though my body wasn't its own entity and then joined me. Oh, how lovely that your little dog also settled down. It's wonderful. Okay, so that's the end of the comments. If anyone wants to be sent information about the retreat, just put yes in the chat, and then you'll be sent an email tomorrow with all the details. But there's lots of yeses already, which is fabulous. It'd be so wonderful if we could have loads of us on this retreat so we get that sense of community. Good. Okay, so go well, everybody. Stay fluid, stay open, stay loving, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Vidyamala.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Vidyamala and Mark. Thank you.